Hello, this is Product Manager Armin Beck speaking. I will lead you the next couple of minutes through this video. In order to follow this tutorial, you have to do the following things. You need to install the software of the DVD first. Then you need a netLINK SCADA MPI Profibus device that is plugged on the interface of the SIMATIC PLC, a ready-to-use Step 7 project, and a very simple PLC program. In preparation to this tutorial, I have installed two software components already. This is the SIMATIC Manager and the Advanced Project Console here. Let me start first with the SIMATIC Manager and my S7 project. In my demo, I'm using an S7 350 Profibus PLC. I've prepared a very simple PLC program that is doing nothing else than to count a counter. This counter I want to make visible in Advanced Visualization later on. The counter is finally stored by the program into the peripheral output word and into marker word 0. Look here, I'm going online so that you can see that the counters are really running. Here you are. What I will do now is to create a symbol in Step 7 software. I'm giving the symbol a reasonable name and the address within the PLC. As we want to make the counter visible, I choose here marker word 0. So that is pretty much it with Step 7 software. So close to save the project, and we are done. I'm now continuing with the Advanced Builder software. To start it, press the respective tray icon down below. You see the server is running, and finally start the builder with this icon here. The very first thing that you have to do in Advanced Builder is to create a server. So choose the option Add Server WebMI. As next, choose the correct Hilscher device you are working with. In my case, it is netLINK SCADA. There are 4 different landing pages you can choose, which are used as default pages. I'm taking the first one. Then you see 3 buttons here. All needs to be clicked one after the other in order to get the device configured. First, we have to set up the IP address of our netLINK SCADA device. By default, the netLINK SCADA device has an IP address that usually does not fit to your IP network. Therefore, you have to choose Configure Set Temporary IP Address. It's the same with me, so I'm changing it to the right one. Since the device has now a reachable IP address, we can now select a second option to set the IP address now permanently. In the logon screen, the default user is admin and the password is admin as well. The web browser opens a default page where you can select different parameter, windows and options. Choose the option Network and insert here your correct IP address. And finally, when everything is set, press Submit, and the IP address is now set permanently in the device. A rescan shows that the device is now set up correctly. Here you are. We can leave this dialog now and choose the next option, setting the bus parameters. You see a lot of parameters grayed out. This is because the default option is out-of-board detection. The second option you have to set up correctly is the MPI Profibus bus address. I set it to 1. The last thing that we have to do is to choose the Step 7 project that we have created before and where we want to import symbols from. The file extension of a Step 7 project is usually S7P. So this is pretty much it here. Press OK. And the server has been created. See it here. One important thing I have forgotten. I have forgotten to set the IP address. Here, enter it here as a host. In case a new server has been created, Advanced automatically adds some displays to the server. Look here. A right-click to the Acquire Data Points option allows us to import now the data from the Step 7 project. On the left-hand side you find all the symbols and data blocks that are available in the Step 7 project. To the right you find all configured symbols that are accessible through Advice. Since my PLC has the bus address too, I have to adjust it here. Here find my symbol, the marker word, 0. Finally, I can press OK. And the data is imported to Advice. As next I want to create my own display. In this display I want to make the counter value visible. I'm creating my display in the main folder. I right-click to it and Add Display. Adds the display. After you enter the name, the display has been created. A double-click onto a display will open it. Since I have created a new display, the display will be totally empty first. Look here. Below the display, you have a library of objects. These predefined objects allow you to visualize any type of data quickly. There are bar graphs, analog meters, and displays that just show values. Since I want to make my counter visible, I'm choosing this type of object. Whenever an object is inserted into a display, you find to the right-hand side its parameters. One parameter of my display is the symbol that shall be made visible. When I'm clicking onto it, I'm able to choose the symbol here. Okay. Well, making the display a little bit larger, so here you are, and we are ready for downloading. So closing the display, we'll save it. And finally, we can choose the option Distribute to download the whole visualization into the netLINK SCADA device. Since we have downloaded a visualization project to the netLINK SCADA device the very first time, the device needs a reset. This can be done either via this option here or due to a power on reset. I'm doing it always from remote with this option here. Okay, the reset is finished. And now we can open up the visualization in a standard web browser using the guided action Open Web Browser option here. The very first page that you are now seeing are the default landing page. Here you are. My display you will find in the main folder here. So now see my display coming up. Here you are. Oh, the font is a little bit too small. So let me increase the font size. Going back to the display and adjust the parameter font size of the display to the right hand side and making again a download into the netLINK SCADA device. So here the font size, a little bit bigger, distribute and watching. So once again, open web browser, the old screen, and main folder. Well, here you are. Here's my counter running. So this is pretty much it for this example. Thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.